Good day, everyone. You're welcome to another session of Computer Programming 1 using Java. In our previous class, we discussed about namings and things in Java. We also look at how we applied this naming convention in Java programming. We also look at how we declared and initialized our variables in Java. Also looking at the data types, that is the types of data that we are going to store on each of these variables we have declared or initialized. So in today's class, we are going to look at the fundamental concept of decision making in Java. Also, we are going to gain a proficiency in using various decision making statements like if else, if, then, and then switch statements. We are also going to apply these statements using what we call control structure in order to what? Control the flow of our program based on different decision making or based on different conditions we have in Java programming. Also, we are going to develop a very logical skills or logical thinking and problem solving skills in Java programming. That's what we are going to look at today, so that at the end of these sessions, our students out there can be able to differentiate various decision making statements we have in Java and their uses. Also, they will be able to construct a simple and complex if else if statement and nested if statement for simple or for both simple and complex problem solving we have. Also, students will be able to implement the switch statement for efficient multi-way branching. That's if you have many decisions, you can be able to use switch statement in order to what? Execute efficiently or execute your program efficiently. And also, students will be able to understand and integrate logical operators in what? In Java, like the AND we have discussed using the double ampersand, the note using the exclamation mark, or the O using a vertical or double vertical bar. So that we are going to be able to achieve at the end of this class. So now, looking at decision making, we say the cornerstone of any programming language is its ability to make decisions based on the conditions you have given it. So if your problem or if your program is not going to make a rightful decision, such program is not even going to be a valid program or a viable program for one to be able to execute it. So Java here offers a very robust set of decision-making statements that empower you to control the statement. Java programming offers you with a robust set of decision-making statement that empowers you, the programmer, to control the flow of your programming dynamically. Thereby, mastering this statement is very, very paramount and important for building an interactive and responsive applications. Looking at decision making is the way in which you take the control of your program. It's a way of taking the decision as what? As English language concern. That's how rightful are you going to take decision when you are what? When you are programming. Java provides you with a robust decision making. These statements enable Java programs to what? To informed choices and dynamically adjust their behavior. If you have any choices, that you can be able to make decision to go with the right one, choice A or choice B, the rightful choice or the bad choice. Therefore, here we are going to look this very statement at first. We have what we call if statement. Though we have if else statement, we have if else if statement, and then we have switch statement. Or sometimes this if else if statement is called nested if statement. Here in this class today, we are going to start with if statement. Our if statement here execute a block of code if a condition is true. That's to say, once a condition is not true, meaning that it does not satisfy that condition, it means your program cannot be able to what? To run. Therefore, this your if statement is very fundamental in taking decision-making construction in Java, which enable developer you to what? To selectively execute a block of code in that particular ID of yours based on the given condition. Now, we said your if statement can only be executed once the statement is true, meaning that if the statement is false, it cannot be able to run. For instance, if you want to send your young ones to market, you might decide to say, please, Mr. Man, if a tube of yam is around 1,000 naira, just buy it for me. Otherwise, just come back with the money. This is a one-way statement. It can only be executed if a tube of yam it costs, or the cost of tube of yam is what? Is 1,000. Are we together? So here we have an instance that we are going to give if we are going to initialize a number and see if that number is greater to a certain given number, it will print something, else it will not print anything. Let's look at this. For instance, we said if a given number, let's say number is greater, let's just say it like this, is greater than 5, so it will now print the number is greater than 5. It's greater than 5. This is what we want to write and convert into what? Into Java programming. Are we together? So in essence, what we are saying, we want to what? We want to write a program using this. If a number is greater than 5, now this program will be able to print number is greater than 5. If it is not, it will just be silent. Pim, like this. It will end the program. Are we together? So, looking at this, as usual, we are going to declare a class. Here say class, please let me use the full board. Here we said class, let's use if example. If example, we open our curly bracket here. Are we together? So the next thing, we declare our main method, public static void main into bracket string our argument ok. So we open another curly bracket. So here, what we are going to do, we want to initialize or declare a number. We are going to initialize and declare a number. Remember, we said if a number, a given number is what? Is greater than certain number. So that number now, you remember our variable declaration and its initialization. We are going to give a number as int our number here is equals to 10. So definitely here means we are storing this 10 into what? Into a variable called number. Are we together? This is what we are doing. So we end this. So we are going to make a condition now. A condition here to say if this very number that we have, if number is greater, remember, you remember this, our comparative operation or operators, if this number, variable number, virtually is 10, is greater than 5, then we now have another curly braces. Are we together? This number is stored here, so virtually this number is 10. That's if number which is 10 is greater than 5. what do you want the program to do for you? Here you can just call your output functions, call system.out.print. Our next line into, we now use our printing statement, call the number you entered, or the number is greater than 5. As simple as this. Are you together? As simple as this. System.out.print, it will now print this. Otherwise, it will end this program. Are you together? So you might decide to end your program here. This closes this. Or you can come here, this closes this. Then this closes that one. Then this closes this. So this is the typical what? This is the typical if statement in Java. Sometimes you might decide to end the program also. Are you together? You may decide to add that if this does not perform, you will not close this now. Or you close this, you now write another statement here. If you want, it's an optional. It's an option. If you write another system.out.print here called end the program, it doesn't matter. It's all the same thing. But for the purpose of this example, I'm raising my case here. That's what a typical example of if statements. I believe this very first is well understood. Is there anything we want to add from this? And I believe not. If there is anything, you can just hit our comment section to have more explanation to this. But you should not also be worried. A practical session is going to take place as soon as our practical sessions are done. We have prepared 8 classes on this Java programming 1. So, and we are done with 2 already. We are on the 3rd one. So once we are done with the theoretical aspect, we are going to begins our practical aspect. The essence of bringing the theoretical aspect before the practical aspect, or running the parallel class while doing the theory, doing the practical as well, is because our students out there to get insight of what Java programming is all about. Our next statement or decision making in Java is if-else statement. If statement is different from if-else statements. In if-else statement in Java is an extension of the basic if statement that we are having. That's to say, this if-else statement allows developers to execute different block of code based on what? On a given condition. That's to say, it will run the code or it will execute the code both if the statement is true or if the statement is false or is false. So what we are saying here, in essence, is the same example that we are going to do. We are going to do it this way. Let's take a real life example and say, please, young man, if a tube of yam cost 1,000, buy 2 for me. But if it is more than 1,000, just buy 1. So you see, in this condition, or in this life scenario example, you have given a two-way condition, right? If this costs that, get 2. If this very particular item worth less than more than that, get 1 for me. So here in this very earliest example we have given here, we said if a certain number is greater than 5, that's if 10 is greater than 5, it should execute and print number is greater than 5, else it will print the number is less than 5. Are we together? So this is what we are going to execute here on this particular board. We start with our class. This our class. Don't get bored. If you see in some books they are writing public, please. Public, let's assume in some textbooks or some tutorial you will see public class. This one is if else if example. Right? So this doesn't matter whether you put this or you don't put this, your program can be able to be executed. Are we together? So our class is if, else, if, example. So our public main void, public void, public static void main string. This is square bracket, please. Aux. Are you together? So now, this is the entry behavior. So what you're going to do, you're going to initialize same number, just same code of that. When you can just copy it, int number is equals to 10. Are we together? I hope we have getting this then. The condition now, if this number, which is virtually 10, is greater than 5. Are we together? Is greater than 5. You should be able to execute a statement, and that statement is going to be displayed system.out.print line print so move to the next line. The number is greater than 5. Are we together? The number is greater than what? Than 5. You are done with this statement. You close these curly braces, but you cannot close this entry behavior. So here you write another else. Else, you now open another curly braces. Then you now write same statement here, system.out.print. Move to the next line, cursor, print. The number is less than what? Less than 5. Please, we are not closing our quote, so we can close our double quote here, else we are going to have a syntax error. So we now close this again. This will close this. Definitely we can say it doesn't matter. This close that. Then we have another one, close that one. We have this. So this statement is a two-way statement. It executes your statement whether it's correct or false. It's not like the if statement that can only be executed if the statement is true. Here it can execute it whether it is true or false. That is why you're seeing else in it. If this number, which is 10, is greater than 5, then system.out.print, or this system will display the number is greater than 5, else it will display the number is less than 5. And then you might decide to end your program, and that's all. Any problem on this? So I believe we don't have any much of a problem. Again, we are going to look at what we call nested if nested if statements. Nested if statement is a similar statement of this, where you can have, it can execute in 3 conditions. To say if, I'm just going to refine this. If you are initializing 10, if number is greater than or equals to what? 5. Is this number greater than or equals to 5? It will come here. The number, system.out.print, the number is greater than 5. Else, here you cannot stop at else. You will say else if, are you together? Else if, your curly braces please. Else if the number is less than 5. Now you close this one again. You now say else here. Are you together? Else, then you now write another system.out.print. You say the number is equals to to 5. Then you close these curly braces here. As usual, you have another one, 3 here close. So that's what nested if statement. It means you can continue to write if else, if else, if else. Sorry, else if, else if, else if. You see, the first one is just if. The second one should be else if. If this condition, you want to what? Continue writing the conditions. Like to say, you want to write a Java program that can what? Print out the grade of a student. You can decide to what? If this number is this, then you continue, else if this condition, else if that condition. So this is how we go about this. So the next one we have is the switch statement. Are you together? A switch statement in Java, in Java, a switch statement is a decision-making construct statement that allows developers to choose out of many blocks of code to be executed. It means you are going to write, it's just like a pool. You are going to write your code and be what? Be calling them by the numbers. Are we together? So here, we are going to look at this, this scenario, this example, that we are going to have a switch example that can display the number of a week in the number of a day in a week. Are we together? That's to say we are going to write Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 7 days, right? We have 7 days, so we can name them from what? Well, Monday to be 1, Tuesday to be 3, Wednesday to be 3rd, Thursday to be 4th, Friday to be 5th, Saturday to be 6th, Sunday to be 7th. So out of this number of days in a week, you are going to key in a number. So that very number will now predict or pop up the particular day that you are about to what? To bring out. Are we together? So you are going to start with your class declaration. Class name can be what? Switch example. If you want, as usual, you can write your public or just class. Public class. Public class, we say switch example. Switch example. Then we have our public static void main, our string, we have arguments. We open our curly braces again. So here, what we are going to do first, we are going to declare that number of what? Number of day in a week. That's day of the week, or if it's a grade of a week, just give any number you want. But make sure your program is what is a pragmatic in nature, that someone can be able to come and modify, or can be able to read and understand what you have coded, right? So we set int. Why we are giving int? Because the number of a days is what? It's a whole numbers. There is nothing like a decimal numbers there, right? So int, we say day. If you want, you say it like this: day of week, or day of the week. Anyhow, day of the week, you can initialize it to say, let's assume we can say day of the week, we have 4. We end this. So definitely at the end of this, it's going to take the number 4th or out of what you are going to do at half here, and then take it out. So the second thing, you are going to also declare the what? The weeks. Are we sure? Because the week, like the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they are what? They are strings, right? So definitely you are going to declare those strings because you are going to use their variable name. Are we together? So we said string or str. Are we together? So we said name of week. Name of what? Name of the week. So that's all, because here we only declare we did not initialize because we don't want to give anything. Here, we initialize and then we declared and then initialize. That is why we are declaring day of the week to what? As integer, and it will hold 4 value. Here, we are declaring name of the week as string, and it holds nothing as it stands now. So, the next thing you are going to do is your what? Your switch function. You are going to switch. You say switch. Switch. What are you switching? You are switching this. Are we together? Make sure you have written the correct thing there. Day of week. This is what you are switching. Are we together? This is what you're switching. Then you open your curly braces here. And then you come back here and say you are what? You are writing a case number. There is a case number, case 1. So definitely this is case 1. You are done with this. Then you now break. It's part of the syntax. You now use your break. And then you end this statement here. It's at the break that you are going to what? End the statement. Sorry. Switch day of the week. You open your curly braces here. Your case 1 is equals to. Sorry, please. Your case 1 is going to be day of the week. Name of week here. Name of week is equals to what? Name of week is equals to, it's going to start to say maybe from Monday. So you end this statement here. You now use break. That means you are going to take another case. Your break also what? Ends a statement. So you are going to use another what? Another case. Say case 2. Case 2, you have name of week. This concatenated, please, is equals to what? Monday, then Tuesday. You end this statement. Are we together? So here you break again. You end this statement. Again, you now continue. You now use case 2 what? Case 3. Name of week is equals to Wednesday. You end this statement, use your break, and end the statements. That's how you what? You'll be going from what? From case 1, case 2, case 3, up to case 7. At the time you reach, assuming you have filled in all these up to what? Up to Saturday. So this you have that of Sunday, right? You are done with the Sunday. So the next one is what? To what? End the program. So at that point, you cannot say it after your break. At that point, please, let's get this one somewhere written down, please. I believe you have this one somewhere on paper or on your system. So let's write this down. So at this point, that let's assume this is Saturday, this is Sunday. So there is a case. We don't have case 8 because the number of days is what? Stop at case 7. Isn't it? The number of days stop at case 7. So we don't have case 8. So at that point, we are not going to use case at this as this implies. So we are going to use default. We are going to use default instead of the case. Are we together? So we said now name of week concatenated, please. Name of week is equals to invalid. This is what we want to display. Invalid name or number, invalid number of the week, right? You end this. So you now break this also. to what? End that statement. This semicolon. So you are here now. You remember at the beginning of this case, switch case, you open a curly braces. So now you close that curly braces. So now what you are going to do is what? Is to display or to write an output, use an output function to display a statement called system.out.print. .print. Then today we want to have a string. Today is, we give a space, or today is, are we together? This is what I want inside a code because it's what? It's a string. So we want to concatenate it with the what? Is it day of the week, right? If you remember, day of the week, what we have declared earlier. We concatenate it with what? Day of week. You remember that one that we initialize int day of week is equals to 4. You remember, right? So you are done with this. If you want to display anything like say full stop, you can then concatenate this one again and then write full stop here. Then you close this curly braces bracket and then you end your statement. You close these curly braces that opened your main method. You close these curly braces that opened your class declarations. So this is how you are going to write this switch statement. So remember, you have declared this day of the week, you've declared there in the program or at the beginning of the program is 4. So definitely it will now follow through this code and see which day of the week is case 4. So definitely the case 4 is going to be Thursday. It's not here, but it's going to be what? It's going to be Thursday. So it will now have case 4 as Thursday, and then it will say today is Thursday, then full stop. That's all. This is how it does. So please, if you've been able to get this correct, please, you can copy it down and now send me on my comment section, please. I'm waiting to see how you compile this because I know it's a kind of a hectic and it make one to think critically think deep because we've wiped something. We continue, though I advise you to copy it down. We continued, we ended somewhere. We have been calling some functions or some declaration of it. So please, if you get this code very clear, let me see it on the comment section. You can snap it on a paper and send. You can type the code and send before we begin the real practical of Java programming. So the next thing we are going to look at here is what we call as loop. Loop. That's looping as English language concern. As far as English language concerned, once we said something like loop, something like you have to what? To be, it will be looping, it will be going up, coming down, navigating. So in programming language, loop are used in order what? To execute a set of instructions or function repeatedly. It will what? Repeatedly what? Repeating that functions of instructions until certain conditions is what? Are met, or until certain conditions become true. So there are 4 loops. We have while loop and we have do while loop. We are going to quickly look at these 3 syntax and also their usage. One way we said we have a for loop. A for loop, the syntax of for loop is going to look like you are going to initialize, you are going to set a condition and then you update. That's to what? Increment or decrement. That's what? To say you are going to have a for, you have condition, you initialize, then you increment or decrement. Are we together? And then followed by what? Statements. then you end this. Are we together? That's to say, if you want to set a counter, like to say a serial number or anything like that, you can continue to say it. If, like, we can decide to write a code for this, we said if I, that's our condition. Are we together? If I is less than, if our I is less than 10, are we together? This is our condition now. So we what? We initialize. If our I, we set I first, sorry. We set I equals to what? 10. Isn't it? Or say, we set our I to what? Our I to 0. We now set if our I is less than or equals to 10. Are we together? If our I is this, then you have plus plus. Once it is less than this, it should what? Print a certain statement. Are we together? Are we following this? I know it's a kind of a confusion, but let's wipe this. So what we are saying in essence now, you've seen the syntax, right? So let's assume we have initialized our int here, or our I. We declared and initialized our I to whatever things we want to. So this I, we now what? I start the initialization as what? As 0. That it will going to pick. At first, it will come and print 0. So it will now go, what we are doing. If it is less than 10, if this I is less than 10, it will now increment, that it will go back to 2. So here we are going to print a statement, system.out.print, and line, it will now print I. Let's count. Let's say count like this. Then we say I. Are we together? So it will be like this. So this statement, whenever it comes to this, it will now say count, that is the printout, count 0. It will go back again and say count 1, count 2, continuous up to what? Count 10. Once it reaches 10, then it will terminate. That's what this very for loop is doing here. Are we together? So the best way to practice this is what? To get the syntax. Once you get the syntax, you are done. So you can be able what? To practice it very perfect. Are we together? So the next one is while loop. Are we together? The next one is while loop. While here is while condition, then the statement. The syntax for while loop is what? While condition, then followed by statement. So this is what it's doing here. Are we together? While condition followed by what? Statement. So here you are going to initialize, we are going to write a simple code on this. You are going to initialize or declare your integer. Let's say int, our j is equals to 1. Our j is equals to 0 at that point. Then we say it while now. While, you remember our syntax? Our condition is what? If this j is less than, or we have been using I, please. Let's use I. If this I is less than 5, close bracket, open curly braces. So here what we are saying, you initialize I is equals to 0 while our condition now, I is less than 5. Then you now print a statement of your iteration. Then you what system dot out dot print. You set what? Your while loop iteration or your count. So it's going to be what? Your I. Banga, na gane ka yi wannan bidiyon da ya sai da shigo ya aka yi? Hankali. Daga abu ne a hankali kama shi. Zan gama in the next 3 minutes, bari in bude ka dai. Shigo kawai ka jira ni bari in rafi. To ba damuwa. So looking at the syntax, having looked at the syntax of while loop in Java, we are going to write a simple code of how you can be able to iterate using what? Using while loop. So we first of all initialize our variable I and set it to 0. We now come and set while condition if this I is less than 5. Are you together? So we want to do the same thing we have done with what? With for loop. So our curly braces is open here. We say system dot out dot print next line, then it will now print count column space double quote. Now you increment it or you what? Concatenate it with what? With your I. Are you together? With your what? With your I. So you end this statement here. Once you end this statement at that point, you need what? To set a counter again. To set a counter. That's now your I plus. Then you end this statement also. So you close these curly braces. So the output of this while loop is going to be count 0, count 1, up to what? Count 5. So here now, you see the difference between for loop and the while loop. The for loop, everything is in one line and it will increment it right there. While here is after the what? After the statement, when the condition truly satisfied, it is okay, then it will now and what? Increment. It is not like the for loop. Are we together? So that is what? The syntax of how you go about your what? Your while loop. The next one is what? Is do while loop. In do while loop, our program executes a block of code at least once. So no matter what, that block of code will be executed once. No matter what it takes, it must execute once. So looking at the syntax of our while loop here, of our do while loop, please. We have the syntax of do while loop as do, then you have a condition. After do, you have statement. You have statement, isn't it? You end your semicolon, then you close these curly braces, and then you have your while condition, just like that while condition. Are we together? Then while conditions, you end this, then you have your what? Your increment, decrement. So this is the basic syntax of how you go about this, but we are going to look at the basic Java code of this do while loop. Let's assume instance we initialize our I again is equals to 0. This is what we have done. We initialize our I to be 0. So we now write do, isn't it? So here we are going to start with a statement. You see, that's the difference. No matter what, it must execute. System dot out dot print, then you have count again. You close this code, you say concatenate with I, and you are done with this statement here. Then you close this curly bracket. You now write your while condition. I is less than what? Is less than 5. To say if this I is less than 5, but before then, you need to what? Increment. Just like how we did in do while loop. You said I plus plus. You end this, then you close the curly braces, you write your while condition. I is less than 5. Open your curly braces, and then you end your quote here, please. That's the difference. It's at least somehow confusing. So here you are done with this code. So this means you have initialized your I to be 0 or set your I to be 0. Your do functions is here. System.out.output functions is here. You are counting. This you're displaying count and displaying what content in I. So here now it will increment. Once this condition is less than 5, it will continue incrementing. It will come only when this condition is more than 5. Then it will now stop there. So this is the simple way of how you go about your what? Your do while loop statement in Java. You remember we have 3 types of loops in Java. We have we have do while loop, and we have do while loop, and then that's what we have for looping. That's we come to the end of this class. If you remember in this class, let's quickly recap what we have done. We look at decision statement in Java. We look at the if statement. We look at the if-else statement, nested if statement, switch statement. We look at the loops, considering the for loop, the while loop, and the do while loop. And we also encourage you to keep practice what we are teaching you on both paper and system. See how you can be able to write code with your own self. Don't just go and copy and paste code. If you want to be a good programmer, try as much as possible. Try your program your own self so that you can be a good programmer in Java. Remember to keep on practice and exploring on the different tutorials on and offline the channels. Thank you for being part of this. In our next class, we are going to have many things to discuss on Java programming. Don't be left out. Keep in touch with Soft Skills Academy. Thank you.